What's up, fiends? Alucard here. Today, I'm going to give you some Thanksgiving terror to check out for free. Alright, so to prepare you for Thanksgiving, I'm going to give you a few recommendations to watch. So all the movies I'm going to talk about today are streaming somewhere on a channel. Most of them are free, a couple of them aren't, and I'll break it down for you. Alright, so the first one we're going to talk about is called Home Sweet Home from 1981. This one is directed by Nettie Pena and is the only movie of the ones I'm going to talk about today that was actually directed by a female. So Home Sweet Home stars Jake Steinfeld, who is better known as Body by Jake. He has since renounced his acting in this movie. However, he plays a fantastic psycho in this movie. Also stars Vanessa Shaw in her very first role. I think she was about 5 years old in this movie. She's known for her roles in Ladybugs. So basically, Home Sweet Home is about an escaped, institutionalized man played by Jake. His name is Jay Jones, and he basically escapes from this institution and runs into a family celebrating Thanksgiving, and he terrorizes them. And it's a slasher movie, so it's kind of like your typical stuff. The kills are pretty good in this one, though. It's fun. Yeah, the acting is atrocious, but it kind of what makes it fun, A couple of highlights from this one is a character named Mistake. He is dressed in like a white makeup, and he's part of the Kiss Army, and he's like rocking out with his guitar and stuff, and it's just funny. It's stupid, but it works. Oh, and the reason Jay is institutionalized is that he's a PCP addict. It's a fun little slasher flick, and it's set around Thanksgiving, so it's perfect for this list. All right, next up we're going to talk Blood Rage from 1987, directed by John Grismer. This movie stars Louise Lasser, who's better known as Mary Hartman, and Mark Soper, who's best known for his time on Knots Landing and a movie called The World According to Garp. And Ted Raimi also has a cameo role. Alright, so Blood Rage is about a set of twins who, when they're younger, I want to say they're around 10 or so, one of them ends up killing a promiscuous teenager because he sees his mother being promiscuous, and so that kind of sets him off. Shoot to 10 years later, he's now an adult, and his brother, his twin brother, was framed for the murders and was sent away. So now it's 10 years later, and his mother gets engaged on Thanksgiving Day to this guy that owns the apartment complex that they stay in. So this sets Terry off. Terry's one of the twins, the killer twin. And so he goes back onto his murderous rampage. At the same time, Todd, his twin brother, escapes from the asylum and is on his way back home. This one is actually a really good slasher. The acting is, it's a little over the top, but it's fun. Mark Soper, I think, does a great job at playing both twins. This one does have a kind of, I don't really want to give it away, but it does have sort of a depressing ending, which you kind of don't see coming. But it's definitely a fantastic Thanksgiving horror movie. All right, so now let's get a little silly. Next one I'm going to talk about is called Blood Freak from 1972, directed by Brad F. Grinter. This movie stars no one that you've ever heard of or probably will ever again. But this is about a Vietnam veteran named Herschel, and he stops to help a lady in distress whose car has broken down. She then invites him over and invites him to stay with her while he gets his act together, kind of thing. There he becomes addicted to marijuana, and he gets hired at a turkey farm, and this turkey farm has these scientists who are doing experiments on turkey meat, and they rope Herschel into trying some of the meat. So he tries the meat, he gets real sick, and the scientists find him all like laid out and stuff. They think he's dead. So they dump his body into the woods. Funny enough, Herschel is not dead. And he wakes up from eating the turkey stuff, and he suddenly has a turkey head in place of his own head. So he's running around now with this gigantic turkey head. And instead of now being addicted to marijuana, he's now addicted to the blood of other marijuana addicts. So he goes back and starts killing all the people, all the friends of the girl he saved earlier. Yeah, this movie it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, but it's so weird, and the turkey head is so bizarre looking on this like human. It's just like right now, if I place the turkey head over my head, that's what it looks like in full human. Everything else, it's weird. It's just so disturbing looking and odd that you just kind of have to see it. Two things about this movie: the director Brad Grinter occasionally pops up with words of wisdom, I guess you could say, or he's commentating on the film and what's going on, and it's very out of place and very like, huh? It's such a weird little movie, and it does have a twist ending. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but yeah, if you want a weird, bizarre movie to watch for Thanksgiving, this is your one. All right, let's continue with the funny, shall we? The next one I'm going to talk about is Addams Family Values. It's not a Thanksgiving movie, however, there's a part in it that is. I'll explain. So the Addams family has a newborn child named Pubert, and they hire a nanny, who the nanny ends up being a serial killer, unbeknownst to them. She's after Fester, and she plans to kill him and get his inheritance. That's what she does. At one point in the movie, she sends Wednesday and Pugsley to a summer camp. And at this summer camp, they rope in Wednesday to be in their Thanksgiving play, and they want her to be Pocahontas. Anyway, yeah, it's bizarre. It's weird. Of course, it's the Addams Family. Of course, it's weird. So the whole thing is it's a Thanksgiving play. So that's how we get the Thanksgiving stuff. Anyway, Wednesday and Pugsley and another character, they kind of turn on everybody during the play, and they kidnap the other kids, and they basically set the camp ablaze. Yeah, and then they end up going back to the regular section. But anyway, it's a fun movie. I like both of the Addams Family movies. I don't count the third one. I'm talking about the ones with Angelica Houston and Raul Julia and Christina Ricci. Those are the two good ones. All right, and the last one I'm going to talk about in detail is Thanksgiving from 2008, directed by Jordan Downey. I've talked about Thanksgiving 3 before in my worst movies I've ever seen video. And yeah, please avoid that one at all costs. It's pretty awful. But this one is actually pretty fun. It's about 5 college students. You know, and they're, of course, they're all the stereotypical. There's the jock, the good girl, the nerd, etc. And it's about them all going home for Thanksgiving, and the killer turkey uh, that terrorizes them. So anyway, the nerdy college kid, tells a story about how this Native American shaman basically put a curse on one of his relatives and basically created this possessed turkey called Turkey, Turkie. Um, and Turkey will come back every 505 years. And Turkey's goal is to slaughter all the Caucasian people he encounters. So basically, he encounters these 5 college kids and starts knocking them off one by one. There are a couple of really, really funny parts. There's one where Turkey uh, puts on like a, you know, like the Groucho, the glasses with the mustache and the big nose. Um, you know, the Charlie Chaplin thing. Uh, and he puts it on as a disguise, and this guy like totally does not even realize that he's a turkey. It's freaking stupid as all get out, but it's, I don't know, the way they pull it off is pretty good. And there's a more extreme part later on. Turkey actually skins the sheriff's face off and puts the sheriff's face on top of his own. So it's kind of like a Leatherface, you know, Ed Gein type of thing. And with the face on, everyone thinks he's the sheriff. It's really bizarre and intentionally hilarious. They actually did it right in this movie. At least I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know. Yeah, and you know, these movies aren't the greatest things in the world or anything. They're just entertaining. Um, it is fun. It's worth a watch. It's only like an hour or an hour and 5 minutes or something. It's really short. Um, but they did it well. So check it out. So Thanksgiving is currently available on Tubi, Pluto TV, Vudu, and the Roku channel. Home Sweet Home is currently streaming on BritBox, even though it's not a British movie. I'm not sure why. And sometimes you can find it on YouTube. Blood Rage is streaming currently on Shudder, on Tubi, on Canopy, and AMC Plus. And sometimes that one also can be found on YouTube. Addams Family Value is not streaming on any of the free platforms that I saw, but it is currently streaming on Netflix and Paramount Plus. Blood Freak typically is for free on YouTube. And I will mention a few more. I'm not going to go into great detail about them. The first one I want to recommend is Christy from 2014 with Ashley Greene and Haley Bennett. It's one of those, the college student stays on campus during Thanksgiving break and is stalked by a bunch of killers. And Christy is currently streaming on Tubi, Vudu, the Roku channel, and IMDb TV. And the last horror one I'm going to mention is called Pilgrim from 2019. It's an episode of the Into the Dark series on Hulu. So it's streaming on Hulu. Basically, it's about a lady who invites a team of historical reenactors for the first Thanksgiving. And they don't break character. They are a little extreme. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, so I'll also recommend a couple of non-horror Thanksgiving movies. Son-in-Law from 1993, starring Pauly Shore and Carla Gugino. Yeah, it's a Pauly Shore movie. It's a typical Pauly Shore movie. But this is probably the best one because it actually had some quality to it. Of course, the one everyone kind of universally agrees that it's probably the best Thanksgiving movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles from 1987 with John Candy and Steve Martin. It's a classic. I don't need to tell you about it. I don't see it streaming anywhere, for free at least. I know you can rent it. Um, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, please check that one out. It's an absolute classic. The last one I'm going to mention, I don't see it streaming anywhere. The DVD is I think it's out of print. It's hard to find. But if you can find it anywhere, try to watch it. It's an underrated gem called Dutch from 1991 with Ed O'Neill and Ethan Embry. It's kind of a guy goes and gets his girlfriend's kid and they don't get along, type of thing, and he's trying to bring him home for Thanksgiving. It's a John Hughes movie, written. John Hughes wrote it. He didn't direct it. It flopped terribly at the box office, but it has slowly gained a cult following over the years. I wish they'd release a good copy of it so I could get it. I thought I had a copy. I can't find it right now, though. I will leave links below for you to check out some of these movies, and I will separate the free ones from the not so free ones. But yeah, I hope y'all have an amazing Thanksgiving. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out. Other than that, stay spooky.